What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be installing a full HVAC system. This is going to be a Rude system that we have a local supplier here in Salt Lake City, but as you can see we are going to be putting this up on a single level garage. That's where the air conditioner is. This is the first time we're going to be using this gorilla ladder with our ladder crane. So the first thing we're going to do is get our condenser up there, and then we're going to proceed with the install. But I thought you guys might want to watch this. In case you haven't seen the ladder crane, it's pretty cool. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to bring this device up here. This is the one that hooks onto our ladder. So we're going to bring that up to the roof, as well as the hoist right here. We'll go ahead and get those up there and get it set up. And then we're going to get our unit placed right here and then get it hoisted up.
Tall enough?
All right, so this is the unit we're going to be replacing right here. As we said, it's up on this garage building. Successfully got our new Rude condenser up here. So we're going to use the same procedure to lower that guy down. But I wanted to show you exactly how we're going to pump the refrigerant into this unit so we can then recover it later, or if you're trying to do this yourself, you could put it on Facebook and someone within a day will come and take it. So to start with, we're going to take this front cover off. All right, so we got our cover off. This is still live. So the first thing that we're going to do is take both of these caps off. So we already have the low side cap off, and we're just going to use this tool to completely close off the high side. So we're going to put this in the low side. I'm going to close it pretty much all the way, and then we're going to back it off a few turns, just enough to where refrigerant can go through here. And then once our gauge reads 0, we're going to lock it in. Now, to emphasize what's happening here, the refrigerant is being pushed out of this by the compressor into the indoor coil, and then it's pulled into the unit by means of this larger copper line. And so in essence, what we're doing when we close this off, this refrigerant can no longer come in through here, so it builds up inside the unit, and this is sucking it in here. So it stacks everything until it's right here, and then once we're at 0, we're going to close it, and everything will be locked into this unit. It. So everything is locked in this unit. As you can see, we're at 0 psi. So we can go ahead and disconnect our gauges, cut our lines, turn off the electrical, and take this unit away. And it's a good practice to throw some tape on these lines just to make sure that no contaminants get inside the lines. Next, what we're gonna do is take off our thermostat wiring. This will typically just be 2 wires. There we go. This unit is completely free. All right, so here's our inside unit. This is an old Lennox and an internal coil. So we're basically going to rip this out all the way to here. So our new coil will sit in place, and then we'll build a new transition here. And then we're gonna have flexible 4-inch double wall venting. So we're gonna have Terry rip out the furnace, the coil, this, and then we're going to add a 5-inch filter rack. So we'll show you how to do that. And we'll cut back to when all of this is removed. Obviously, all of this is empty, so we can just cut into this, cut the PVC out, and we'll show you once we get to that stage. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're going to turn the breaker off for the furnace. So we'll locate that, turn it off, and then we can make all of our electrical adjustments here. All right, so we got our unit set in place. This disconnect is still in really good shape, so we're gonna leave it. This conduit looks good. We just refastened it to the unit and used the factory holes here to mount it. We are gonna replace this whip. It was in pretty rough shape, so we're gonna replace the whip that goes from here to the inside of the unit. So we'll take that off and show you what that looks like. And these disconnects are pretty easy. They just have your 2 line leads there, and then the 2 load leads there, and the 2 grounds in the middle. All right, so this is the finished product. We're gonna put our cover back on in just a second, but basically we just have red going to there, black to there. These don't matter, they could be swapped as long as your load goes on these terminals and line where they're labeled as such. So we're gonna pop this on, and this will be ready to go. Just like that. We got our Supco Trade Fox umbrella out, staying out of the sun today, but beautiful day in Utah. The mountain backdrop. It's a nice day for an install. Okay, so we're just gonna take our disconnect and we'll just leave it up here for the time being. We're gonna route this alongside here, and we're gonna go right into the bottom of this unit here. We'll cut it to length and show you what it looks like inside here. All right, so we're wrapped up with the electrical. We have our high voltage coming up through our quick connect fitting, and then we just have our 2 hots on the bottom of the contactor, 1 ground there, and then we just have our 2 thermostat wires going to the brown and yellow from the unit. So this is all completely done. We're going to put our cover back on, and then we'll finish up with our brazing. All right, so what we're gonna be using today for this is Stay Bright 8. This is extremely easy to use. It is a very low temperature, so you don't have to have a nitrogen flow. I don't even wrap the valves because it's so quick in and out, and I've never had an issue. You do have to have a good tight seal or a tight connection. You can't have like a huge gap with these. That's the only thing with Stay Bright 8. So as long as you've got a good tight connection, you're good to go. So we're gonna take our tape off. We're gonna clean up this, put our fittings on, and then once we've mocked everything up, we'll go ahead and put our flux on. We also want to make sure that we get any of these little burrs off so we don't create any sort of restriction. So we're just going to go around, make sure sure we get those off on both our suction and specifically our liquid line. You can see it's closed off pretty good there. Okay, so we got our lines fitted, our filter dryers installed. This is pointed towards, it always goes towards the furnace. You can put this inside if you want to, but I'm just gonna put it out here because I have quite a bit more room out here. And I could have also used these fittings right here, but that would have created several more joints. So I created this piece. I only have 2 joints to solder here and 3 on this side. So it's always good to minimize how many joints you have, whether you're brazing or soldering. So we're going to disassemble these. We're gonna put our Stay Clean flux on it. I only put this on the male end. I don't put it on the female end because you wanna minimize if any of this gets in the lines. It's not great for it. I haven't had any ill effects of using Stay Bright 8. I've been using it for the past few years. Never had any leaks, and it's really easy to use. Perfect for a DIYer if you want to try and tackle this job yourself. So I'm just going to show you on one joint here. So this has already been cleaned. We're just going to put it on the male end, as we said. You don't have to get it all the way up to the edge. Just like that. And then we're going to slide it in. So we're just going to slide that on. Rotate it. Just like that. So this joint is ready to go. Wipe off any excess there. And then we'll get these and then we'll get started. All right, we're gonna start with the small liquid line, and we're just gonna heat it up on the bottom, and we should have enough heat. These ones are really easy. They don't take much at all. If you're curious where to find Stay Bright 8, you can find it in the video description. Simply go down below this video, click more, and you'll see all my favorite HVAC tools. Click on that link and you'll find this there. All right, so we're finished up with the condenser up here. Got all of our lines Stay Brighted in. We just checked everything. Everything looks really good. So we're gonna hop down to the furnace. Terry got everything ripped out, so we'll show you where to go from there. All right, so here's our new furnace. This is a Rude 1780%, 75,000 BTU furnace. And this is our new filter rack. So this is going to go over here on the right side, just like that. And they'll have an easy access to their filter. All right, so we have our hole drawn out for our filter rack dimensions. We're gonna start with a unibit, and we're gonna cut the corner here. And then we're gonna use these turbo shears and cut this square out real easy. All right, so we got the filter partially mounted. I had to make 2 little pieces of sheet metal, and we're gonna seal that up. Afterwards, we'll probably caulk the outside of this, and we'll probably pookie the inside just because we can't get to that with caulk. And we're also gonna clean this out real good. And then we have our exact hole. So once we put the furnace here, we'll come in from this side and we'll screw in through these holes. I love these F100 filter racks. They're really nice. And we're just gonna use these holes here all the way around the perimeter and get this nice and tight. All right, so our filter rack is done, sealed up on all 3 sides, and then we just pookied that little joint on the bottom. And as long as this has a nice smooth path for the filter, we're good to go. So let's go ahead and slide our furnace in and show you what we got. All right, so here's where we're at. Got the new furnace in, and our filter rack is sealed all the way around. We got it screwed in and then caulked bottom and all the way around on both sides. And we're just working on the gas piping. So we're gonna go down, we're gonna put our new flex line in right here, and then this is going to come out and stub out right here. We don't need a drip leg because we have this right here. And then we're going to replace this. So we're gonna put a junction box up there, and we're gonna run new MC cable, and it'll come in and attach here. All right, so here's where we're at. We've got our coil in place. We've got it taped all the way around, caulked in the front. We got our gas line finished. So you have a new flex line. That's all sealed up. The low voltage wiring is finished. We just matched what we previously had there. And then up here, we're working on the 110 voltage. So we put a J box there, and we're gonna run brand new MC cable. As you can see, we have these nice fittings, super easy. Feed that up into the hole, put it in, and then wire nut, black to black, white to white, green to green. And we'll fasten this down to this spot where our low voltage wiring comes in. These roods require a 3" to 4" adapter, so that will go there, and then our flex pipe will go up to there. And then for this, probably just gonna build some little pieces of sheet metal to kind of transition, and then we'll build a face piece that goes here to make it look nice. All right, so we've got our new MC cable in, our new box. We're gonna put our switch there, and then we'll have our enclosure there where we'll wire nut these all together. I got our transition pieces built and pookied on the back side, and then we're just gonna build one solid piece right here. So that'll be the last thing for the ductwork. That's it. All right, so everything is soldered up inside. I've got our nitrogen here. What I normally do is take the valve stem out on the low side. So we're gonna take this out, and we're gonna leave it on our stem tool up here. Put our Schrader core removal tool on, and we're gonna need this when we do our vacuum. Make sure that's tight. We're We're gonna put our blue side from our gauges onto our core tool. Bleed this first. And then our yellow will go to our nitrogen. Probably do about 300 PSI here. Crank this in to about 300. And then we'll let it in through the blue side. I usually stop at about 50. Make sure it's not rapidly dropping, because otherwise you could waste like probably 300 PSI if you find a leak and then you have to refill it. So 45.6. We'll give that a couple minutes, just make sure it doesn't drop rapidly. I think we're good, so we're gonna go ahead and crank it on up. And when you close this, your nitrogen will drop a few PSI just when it starts stabilizing. All right, we're gonna close it there. Wait for this to stabilize. And as long as it hasn't moved more than a couple of PSI within a 20-30 minute time frame, we should be golden. All right guys, so here's where we're at. We got our new B vent in, fits really nicely. And our reducer there. And I wanted to show you this part. This little bulb here clamps on. The Rude systems have this. The ICP and the Goodman coils have the TXV built in, so you don't have to do this. But you have to clamp it to it, insulate it, and then we're gonna go ahead and insulate this. But I wanted to show you what it looks like. And we got our MC, goes up to our box, down here to our switch, which is on a fuse, and he's just getting that all secured to the side of the furnace. But that is the finished product. We're just gonna get it nice and pretty. We're on our pressure test, and then we'll pull our vacuum. All right, so we stabilized at 281-ish, and we've been staying there for the past probably half hour or so. So we're gonna go ahead and shut this off. We're going to let all the pressure out at once. And that's gonna be kind of like a self purge, if you will. Any contaminants can come out all at once. Next, what we're gonna do is hook up our vacuum. Okay, so if you've seen this before, we're going to be using a one hose setup. This is a True Blue setup. We're simply gonna go from this 1/2-inch port to that guy, and then we're gonna put our micron gauge on that, and this should pull down within about 10 or 15 minutes to below 500 microns. All right, so we got our micron gauge hooked up with our isolator valve. This we're gonna close, and we're gonna turn this on and get our vacuum pulled in our hose. Got a soft start with our Milwaukee adapter. This is an awesome setup. If you'd like to look into where you can get this, you can find it in our Amazon store in the video description. So this is pulled down the hose by now, and when we open this, you'll see the tone change. And pretty soon we should see this change on our micron gauge. All right, I didn't realize this thing wasn't making a good seal right there or opening the Schrader core, so it's 530. We're already down to 1700 microns. So we should be down to 500 rather quickly. Less than 10 minutes, and we are approaching 500. So we're going to isolate for that valve after we're below 500. Make sure it doesn't go up within about 5 minutes. That's called a decay test. And then we'll be ready to open these valves. And that's going to let the pre-charged refrigerant in here flow into the rest of the system, into these lines and into the coil inside. A lot of people misunderstand that. They think they have to put refrigerant in, but these units all come pre-charged with refrigerant. You can see right there the total system charge, 410A, 124 ounces. Usually these are good for about 15 feet, and anything after that you might have to add a little bit, but they'll still run even if it's a little bit low on charge. All right, so it's been a little over 10 minutes. We're at 418 microns. We kind of hop up and down. We're below 500. So we're going to isolate this. I'm going to turn this off. And as long as we don't climb above 500 in 5 minutes, then we're good to go. All right, so we ran it for a little bit longer. It was still below 500, but I ran it, now it's at 380 and staying. So we're gonna let the refrigerant in through the liquid side first. The flow rate, or the flow in which it's gonna naturally go, is through the liquid side. So we'll open that fully, and then we'll open the suction side. That's it. Put our caps on, snug these up just to make a seal there. And this system is pretty much ready to go. All right. So what we're gonna do now is we're going to put our Schrader core back in. So we're simply gonna push this up a little, feed it in. And then once we open this, you'll see this pop out a little bit, meaning that there's pressure on it now. We'll use one hand to pull this down and the other to tighten it. You'll feel some resistance when this is fully seated. There you go. Now we'll pop this back out, close it, take this off and let the pressure out. And then we'll slowly open this and it's good to go. Really nice tool to have in case you ever have a leaky Schrader core and you need to replace it. These have come in handy many times. All right, guys, here's the finished product. So we have our refrigerant lines, got our condensate drain, the flexible gas line. We have our switch here. Covers are all put on, and we have our Honeywell 4-inch filter, super easy to access. And we have our flex vent and our transition. We'll hop up on the roof and show you the unit kicking on in AC mode, and this job will be complete. All right, guys, here's the finished product. 56 decibels, really quiet unit. Turned out really good. Super happy with this install. Maybe we can get theirs replaced over there, we'll see. Terry's done, did a good job. All right, so it's 72 inside the home. Right now we're getting 48 and dropping. We're blowing some ice cold air out of these vents. hop downstairs and show you our unit running. Whew, feels good down here. Thing looks really good. It's nice and cold. So this install is completely wrapped up. 6 o'clock, ready to go home. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on how to replace a full HVAC system from start to finish. Now, if you want to increase your knowledge when it comes to your HVAC system, or if you're going to school and you just want to get a better grasp on the basic understanding of HVAC, make sure and check out our membership. You can find it right here at the home page. Simply click the join button and you'll see our HVAC courses there. We release videos on a frequent basis so you can continue to expand your knowledge on HVAC. These member-only videos are catered to individuals who want to learn more about their HVAC system. They're a little bit more technical and not as fast-paced as my normal videos that everyone can view. So if you're interested, make sure and check it out. If you want to see some more HVAC replacement videos, check these out right here, and I'm sure you'll enjoy those as well. Until next time, you guys be safe. Later.